My sister called my son a bastard at every family event. I made sure she never opened her mouth again. My sister Holly always had to be the perfect one in our family with her investment banker husband and her 2 kids who played violin and spoke 3 languages. I never cared about her showing off until I had my son Oliver. See, Oliver's dad bailed when I was 6 months pregnant. But I didn't care because I had a good job as a physical therapist and could handle being a single mom. My parents were amazing, helping with babysitting and being completely obsessed with their first grandkid. For the first year, everything was actually peaceful. Holly lived 3 hours away, so we only saw her at major holidays. And even then, she mostly ignored Oliver to talk about her kids' achievements. I figured she was just jealous that her kids weren't the only grandchildren anymore. Then Oliver started walking and talking. And suddenly Holly had opinions. It started at Easter dinner when Oliver was 18 months old. He was toddling around being cute, and my dad was helping him hunt for eggs when Holly said it was a shame Oliver would grow up without a father figure, since boys without dads always ended up troubled. I told her that was ridiculous and plenty of single moms raise amazing kids. She just shrugged and said statistics don't lie while looking at Oliver like he was already doomed. By his 2nd birthday, Holly had escalated to calling Oliver that poor child whenever she talked about him. She'd tell her kids to be extra nice to their cousin because he didn't have a daddy like they did. When Oliver started preschool, she asked if I was putting him in therapy yet for his abandonment issues. He was 3 and happy as could be, but according to Holly, he was already damaged goods. The word bastard started slipping out when she thought I wasn't listening. She'd whisper to her husband about how embarrassing it was to have a bastard nephew. At Thanksgiving, she actually told her kids not to get too attached to Oliver, because children from broken homes often had behavioral problems. Oliver was right there coloring and looked up confused. That's when I started getting really angry, but my mom kept saying Holly didn't mean anything by it and I shouldn't start drama. The breaking point came at our family reunion last summer. Holly had been drinking wine all afternoon and got louder with each glass. Oliver was playing with his cousins when he accidentally knocked over Holly's daughter's lemonade. Holly grabbed Oliver's arm and yanked him up, saying, "This is what happens when bastards don't have fathers to teach them manners." Oliver started crying and asked me what a bastard was. In front of 40 relatives, my sister had just taught my 5-year-old son that word while calling him one. Everyone went silent, but nobody said anything to Holly. That's when I decided my sister needed to learn exactly how it felt to be humiliated in front of family. First, I did some digging on social media and found out something interesting about Holly's perfect husband. He'd been commenting a lot on his young assistant's posts, especially the bikini ones from her vacation. The comments were just friendly enough to not be proof of anything, but suspicious enough to plant seeds of doubt. I screenshot everything for later. Then I found out through our cousin that Holly's investment firm had just lost a huge client because of a mistake she'd made that cost them millions. She'd been hiding it from everyone, pretending work was going great. At Christmas, I put my plan into action. Holly started her usual routine, making passive-aggressive comments about Oliver needing a male role model. I let her go on for a bit, then mentioned how nice it was that her husband was mentoring young women at his company, especially that pretty assistant he seemed so close with. Holly's face went white. Her husband started stammering about work relationships. I kept going, saying I'd seen how supportive he was on all her